Hello, Divine Feminine, and welcome to your power message for Monday, Magical Monday, the start of a brand new week. We're moving towards February, the month of self-love. And before we go into the book today, and before I bring in the cards, I want to talk a little bit about how powerful this month can be, because we're moving towards Valentine's Day, and right now in the shops there are Valentine's things around. Now, maybe you're avoiding those things because you're missing your twin and you want to be with your twin. But when you're in your power and you're in your light and you're working on self-love, those things can be such a blessing, because we can get such amazing things at this time of the year. Things to put around the house, things we can use, things that bring in love, things that help us to focus on self-love. And me and George were out shopping the other day, and we went food shopping. We didn't go anywhere special. We just went to a grocery store, and they got Valentine's Day things in there. And George got me a little mug, but I just said, let's just have a little walk down and have a little look in the aisle. And I thought this is going to be a perfect time to get some cool things to put around the house. And I was drawn to this box. Now, this is just a gift box that's got hearts on for Valentine's Day. So maybe obviously, some guy or some girl would pick this up to give a present to their person with. But for me, this is a creation box. And I saw this and I thought, wow, this was only £3, 3 UK pounds, that's it. And I thought that would make such a fabulous creation box. And so, I was looking at it in a different way. I wasn't thinking about Valentine's Day and what to get George. I was thinking about this can bring things into my life. Because I use a vision board, and I've got a little bag at the moment that I'm putting things in that I want to create, but I haven't actually got a God box. And I've spoke before about the God box or the creation box. It's the same thing. And I thought this would just make a fabulous one. So if you're thinking today, you want to start manifesting. Maybe you've been putting it off, or you've been thinking about it, or you don't know where to get a creation box from. You can just pick one up right now. Anywhere right now, card shops, supermarkets, anywhere that have got Valentine's things in are going to have amazing things there. And this is a great week to start manifesting, the first day of a brand new week as we move towards a new month, the month of self-love. And this is a great time too to update your vision board. So maybe you did that in January, around the 1st, when you were setting your resolutions, or you were having a clear out or a clear around, or you're updating your vision board. Every month, the beginning of a brand new month, is such a great time to have a look at it and think, is that serving me? Is that still relevant? If you've manifested something, maybe take it off and replace it with something else. Because you will notice the more you have on your vision board, or the more you put in your God box, the more you're going to manifest. So you're going to think, wow, I've already manifested that. James, was it John Assaraf? Yeah, John Assaraf. I was going to call him James then. From The Secret, in the film The Secret, when he's talking about his vision boards, it's very emotional. He was talking about how he's got this picture of his dream house on his vision boards, and they go through 3 moves in the space of 5 years, and all his vision boards are in boxes. And his son is sitting on this box as they're moving into this new house and banging his feet on the box. And his dad's like, John's like, please don't do that, And he's like, well, what's in this box, Dad? And he says, well, let me show you. So he goes in the box and he pulls out his vision board. And he's looking at the vision boards, and he drops to his knees because he realises the house that's on the vision board is the house they're living in, and the house that he's manifested over a period of 5 years. Isn't that powerful? And he'd forgot because he'd boxed up the vision board. So we have to be aware. Sometimes we can look at our vision board in passing, but not really look at the vision board. And we think, wow, that we've just manifested that. Isn't that powerful? So you don't want to leave it up there. You want to exchange it for a new thought or a new intention or a new thing. So a great time to update your vision board, or buy yourself a creation box, or make yourself one. And this is really powerful because, I want to show something else. Last year, or a couple of years ago, probably a couple of years ago now, I was out and about again before Valentine's Day, and it's still January, but everything's in the shops right now. It's like, they've already got Easter eggs out there, and they get in advance in the shops, because of marketing. But you can get amazing things. And I was in a card shop, I'm pretty sure it was last year, and I found this. Real love is written in the stars. And this is just a little canvas. This wasn't expensive at all. I think I picked this up for like £5 or something similar to that. It wasn't expensive, and it lights up. It lights up. You see that there? And I just have this kind of, over there. And I just think that's gorgeous. That's so gorgeous. And these type of things come out for Valentine's Day like the stars do. The stars come out at night. These kind of things come up at Valentine's Day. You may want to get yourself a nice candle or, something pretty wonderful from having a look around. So see this time of year in a different way. I know it's hard when you're not with your twin and you're not celebrating it with them, or, they're with someone else. But see it as an opportunity to go hunting for bargains and think, wow, I'm going to find myself something magical for Valentine's Day. Maybe you're thinking about treating yourself anyway, but maybe you never thought about looking around the Valentine's things to treat yourself. Maybe you thought about getting a manicure or going on a spa day or buying yourself a new dress or some new shoes or something you really want. But you never thought, oh, I'm going to look around the Valentine's stuff and buy myself something from there. So that's what I did. I was like, wow, I'm going to get this. And all I'm going to do with mine, I'm going to write on the top. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put, okay, because I'm going to start this on the 1st of Feb, which is on Wednesday. So I'm going to get it all prepared, ready for that. And I updated my vision board the other day. So my vision board's all done and ready to go. But it also brings in double power when you've got your vision board going, but you're also putting things in your creation box. And the way you do it is, you spend some time thinking about what you want, and then maybe write it down and put it in there. Or what I did, I was talking about when I manifested going to Zurich and Switzerland, to see Doreen Virtue in 2012. I hadn't got a passport. I hadn't got the money for what I wanted, the travel, the ticket, anything. And I drew it all out. So I drew a picture of a passport, and then I sat with it for a little bit, visualising it was actually my passport, and I put it in. And that was the first thing I put in my board, in my box. I wasn't using a board at that time, and that's the first thing I got the money for. And then I actually created the plane ticket, the plane ticket, and I put that in there. And the money just comes in because the universe is creating the way. So I might write on the top, everything in here is mine. Everything in here is mine. Or I could put God box, creation box, thank you, universe, whatever you want to put, because it's your box, so you create it your way. You don't even have to write anything on there at all. But I think I'm going to put everything in here is mine. Or everything in here belongs to me. Or everything is here now. Or, you can, whatever you want to put. But the reason I'm just jumping on talking about this is because you can find these things right now. You may not want one with hearts on or with a red top. You might want a gold box. You may want something gold. Let me show you what I was using before. I'm just going to put this back. And this goes over here. So I'm just going to pop this back here. And then I'm going to show you my little creation bag. This is what I've been using. Okay, this is like a little gold bag that I picked up from somewhere because gold creates riches. And I've got all my stuff in here. But I wanted a box. There's something a bit powerful about putting a lid on it. There's something a bit powerful. Remember, everything you put in here or here is already created and manifest. So that's what I'm going to do. And what I want to do, look at that little cute bag. Don't use that to go out with. That's my creation bag. But I wanted to bring in a creation box for 2023. If I go to the Angel Therapy Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, and it's there straight away. The card, the God box. So the God box, it says, write any worries, concerns or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. So what this is saying is you can do it for things you want to release as well. Now, I personally use my creation box as a box of manifesting. So I won't write down any worries I have or concerns or anything like that and put them in there, because I don't want to hold on to those things. I don't want to create those things or more of those things. I want to put into my God box or my creation box, which is what I call it, things I desire, things I want, like things I want to bring in. That's what I put in there. But you could easily, have another one for things you want to give to God or give to heaven or the angels, like worries or concerns. But a much more powerful way of doing it is prayer. Giving it to heaven through prayer and letting it go. You can even get a candle and, you could say your prayer into your candle and then blow it out. And you've blown it out and it's gone to heaven. Or you could allow it to burn down. And once it's burned down, it's gone to heaven. So there's many, many ways you can do this, but I tend to find putting desires into a creation box works better. A God box, I suppose, is a God box. A creation box is a creation box. So I'm seeing my box purely as a creation box, which is where I'm going to manifest it. Like the vision board is what I'm going to manifest it. If you wanted to use this as an actual God box, then you put things in that you don't want and you do want. As this card states, it says, write any worries, concerns or desires on a piece of paper and then put it into a God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. So that may work for you. That personally doesn't work for me, but we're all different, and that makes us special and wonderful and magical, because we are all different. It'd be boring if we were all the same. So you might think, well, that's what I want to do with mine. I want to create something that I can put my worries in or my fears in. They have worry dolls and things like that, don't they? Do they have worry dolls where you hold a little doll and you give it your worries? And it's just like prayer. It's the power of the intention. It's not the thing itself that does the job, it's you. And I've spoke about this many times with things like manifestation bracelets, or, when people say, oh, put this bracelet on, it's going to bring you power or it's going to give you money or whatever. It's you that makes that happen. The item itself is just, a bracelet. It's how you see it that makes it what it does. So it's about your own intention. So for me personally, because of my own feelings and intentions, I wouldn't feel that putting my concerns and worries in my box would be a good thing. But that doesn't mean it's not a good thing for you. I prefer to give my worries and concerns to God through prayer and letting go in that way and seeing it kind of floating away and not being around me. Whereas that would be, if I put those things into my box, they'd be sticking around. And I want the things to stick around that I want to create and manifest. So I want to read from the book what, the kind of explanation of this is, which I never usually do, but I'm really interested to see, what Doreen's take on this is. The angels want to relieve you of the burden of worry by giving you a physical method for releasing your cares to heaven. Writing down your prayer requests or worries for divine intervention is an effective way to work in partnership with God and the angels. You can write something short or lengthy, and you will receive the same results. What matters most is that you write from your heart and soul, and then give the paper to heaven symbolically, either by burning it, which releases it, putting it in the freezer, which stops the situation from progressing, burying it, which helps with emotional healing, or putting the paper in a God box. See the action steps below. So for me, burning it would be better, because you burn it, you're releasing it. That's why a lot of people like to be cremated when they die, because, they want to get rid of the body, to see it as a fresh start, a new beginning. And, maybe putting it in a freezer, maybe you've done that before. Again, I don't kind of like doing that because it's sticking around, or burying it, it's sticking around. Burying it, you could see it as, well, I'm just burying the problem. I'm just burying it, not facing it. Burning it gets rid of it completely. So burning it is a very powerful thing to do. But writing has power. When we use a pen, it's different when we type. We're still writing down the feelings, but there's something special about using a pen and handwriting. There's something a little bit magical about that. So you decide what works for you, and let me know in the comment section, if you agree with me that, you think that putting things you want to create in your God box is a lot better than putting worries and fears in there. If you do freeze things you want to stopped from progressing, or you have buried things, or, you have done certain things with pieces of paper, or you let me know. And they're just giving me in my mind the time capsule in the film The Knowing. They bury a time capsule with things in that have happened then, and then they open it 50 years later, and they have a look at how things have progressed. So in a time capsule, we'll think, oh, how's the world going to be in 50 years? And this is again about manifesting. Maybe you want to write down your goals and dreams now, and then you think, I'm going to put it in a time capsule. But again, it's the way you're seeing it, because burying it in the ground is a bit different than burying a time capsule. Because a time capsule is you think about time, you think about manifesting, you think about movement. So you think, wow, where do I want to be in 5 years? So you may write it down and then put it into the ground as a time capsule. And then maybe 5 years' time, you get that out of the ground and you look and you think, wow, did I actually manifest that? Like John did, when he got his boxes with all his vision boards in. So really what he did was he buried his vision boards in that box and then uncovered it at the right time. And they give me fear. So it's whatever you do without fear. If you bury something, it brings in fear, then it's not working for you. It's a lot like for me. Okay, having a savings account does not work for me, but it may work for you. We're all different. We all have our own ideas and ideals of doing things. So for me, I don't like having a savings account. Whenever I've put money into a savings account, I've always felt I've had no money, because I've been trying to put money in a savings account. So it's created a block. When I haven't had that account, money's flowed easier. It's really strange. But I've had to learn the hard way with that a few times. And it's the same as I remember once I had a jar that I used to collect £2 coins in. This is years and years and years ago. And I found that all I was manifesting was £2 coins, because I was so focused on putting them into my jar that I got no other money. So I ended up having to break the jar to get all the money out, because I got no money. And it's perception, it's how we feel about things. And energy, money is energy, everything is flow, everything is energy. So we have to allow things to flow. So I feel for me it wouldn't work, because it creates a stagnancy. And it may even bring more of what I want in. So, I would burn these things. But for me, I don't do that. What I do is I talk to the angels. I give my concerns and worries to them, and I kind of see it as, I don't even visualize, it's just a feeling, but I would visualize it being taken away in exchange for peace or a solution or an answer or something I may want. Very powerful. So I'm going to read you the action steps that, Doreen stated in this book here. She said, God boxes are time-honored tools for gaining peace of mind and answers to your prayers or answers to your prayers. If you don't already have a container specifically for use as a God box, now is the time to buy, make, or designate one. Choose an ornate container that evokes a sense of the mystic or majestic. For instance, a royal purple box or one decorated with crystals may speak to you. Ask your angels to guide you to a wonderful God box, and then follow their guidance to find or make the container that's right for you. Place your God box where you can easily see and have access to it. And that's really what happened with me with this one. I was just having a walk around, no intention to get a God box. But I just walked past and I thought, wow. And it was really funny actually, because I picked it up and George said, God box. And I was like, you read my mind. So he automatically knew, he didn't think, oh, what's Liz going to buy me and put in this box? He was like, creation box, God box, wow. And I was like, yeah, that's for me. And, I wouldn't normally go for something red, I'd usually go for something gold. You guys know I'm all about the gold and the bling. But I thought this is going to be a powerful one. Red is about action. We think about red, we may think of anger. Red can be an anger colour, but it's also the colour of fire and action. Fire, movement, change, things happening now. So, if you want to put things in a red box, then you might see there as a burning energy. So whatever works for you. But the message I'm receiving to share with you guys today is to create some kind of God box. Whereas either you're going to put in what you desire or what you want to release in your life. Isn't that powerful? So I'm going to go a bit deeper. I'm going to use this deck again. So what else do we need to know today? What else do we need to know? Maybe connected with the God box, maybe not. What do we need to know as Divine Feminines today? Here we go. So the card is Thank you, angels. Look at this. Law of attraction. And what do we do when we put things in our creation box? We activate the law of attraction. It says relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So what I'm really feeling with this is a great sign that karmic endings are coming in, changes are coming in to move you closer to your true path and life purpose, and to be aware of what's changing within your twin. And your masculine is going through a lot of changes today. A lot of changes within the throat chakra. You know, they're going through physical things again today. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later in their reading. But things are changing because you're manifesting. So again, the more power you put into what you're manifesting, and the more visualization and the more feeling, the quicker things are going to change. So you may notice things are changing in your own life. You're not attracted to certain activities anymore. You don't want to go out and do that. You want to do this instead. Maybe you don't want to go out. You want to stay in. Or you want to, watch that type of program instead of this type of program. The other night, me and George watched a horror film. And, we just thought, we're just going to watch something to take us out of our head and experience something. And it wasn't even scary. It was just all the way through. I was on edge. And I was waiting for something to happen that never happened. And it was like one of them where, what the hell is going on? It was one of those type of films. It was called The Boys in the Trees or something like that on Amazon Prime. Because when I upgraded my phone, wherever my phone is, I got a free 6-month trial to Amazon Prime. I'm not going to continue that because I've got Netflix. But, George likes going on there and seeing what's on there. And, we got this film, I think it was called Boys in the Trees. And if you watch it, you'll be on edge all the way through thinking something's going to happen that doesn't happen. Not that I want to spoil it for you, but I kind of gathered what was going on quite early on, thinking, I know that's what's going on. I'm not going to say it in case you watch it, I don't want to spoil it for you. But I was on edge all the way through, and I didn't like that feeling. And I like watching horror films and things that get the adrenaline pumping. But I was on edge, it's like I was nervous all the way through because I thought something was going to happen, but it never did. And, sometimes we can be like that on the journey, we can be nervous and anxious about something and it never happens. And that's the ego. That's when the ego brings in the what if scenarios. And I was thinking, what's going to happen? What's coming then? What's going to make me jump? What's going to petrify me? And nothing actually happened. It was a good film. It was unusual, different. I wouldn't watch it again. But, George enjoyed it. And it was the fact that, I didn't enjoy watching it really because I was on edge all the way through. So it's like my higher self is saying, Liz, why are you watching this? Why aren't you watching something uplifting and positive? So we know by the way we feel how we are responding or reacting to things in our life. But the big message is, if you put things into your creation box, you're going to create them. If you put things into a God box, you're going to release them. So that's the difference I'm seeing. And this is the first time I've actually been shown it in that way. So I've bought this box as a creation box, and that's what I'm seeing it as. But you may buy a creation box and a God box. So you may have two. You may have one for releasing, and you may have one for manifesting. A bit like we have the bin. We throw things in the bin. We know it's a bin, but that it's just an object or an item that you could actually see as a storage container. It's a storage container, but because you see it as a bin, it's to do with release. You wouldn't put anything in there that you want to keep or create. So again, it's our perception, the way we view things that creates our reality. And that's what I want to share today. So let's bring in the book. So what do we need to know today? What do we need to know today? So the message today says, give your worries to God. Give your worries to God. I'm just checking them on the right day. Yeah, give your worries to God. When you hold your worries inside, I've just kind of, because I'm looking at this thinking, is this the right day? Is this the right day that we're on here? But it is. But it says, give your worries to God. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a God box. Now, I just love this because I never see this until the day I'm using it with you guys. And give your worries to God. So really what this is a message about is release. Release your worries to God. Give it to heaven. Pray. It says, when you hold your worries inside, they fester within a closed container. Wow, a closed container, which is what I've just been talking about. growing darker and larger until they haunt you with incessant stress. So instead of bottling up these concerns, give them to God. So I really am seeing that this is a better idea to put creation box, things you want in here, okay, with a lid on. And this is also about things coming out into the open. Sometimes we put a lid on things in our life because we don't want to open Pandora's box, or we don't want to open a can of worms, but things are going to come out anyway. The infinite divine wisdom of God contains every solution. Even seemingly hopeless situations are worked out peacefully as you hand them over to heaven. For within every possible problem, a resolution has already been created. So no matter what the problem, there's always a solution. In the world of spirit, there are no actual problems. Everything is peaceful, harmonious, and healed. When you turn your mind heavenward, you tap into this truth and experience it for yourself. Every worry or difficulty is a reminder to turn to heaven's love. And that's the truth. All we need is our connection with self and source. I remember not long ago when I did a little channeled message when I had stomach flu. Can you remember? If you're new to the channel, I was in bed, I had stomach flu. It was around Halloween, November time. There was a lot of dark, heavy energies around that time. And I was releasing. And I just felt awful. And, instead of talking to George or expecting George to make me feel better, I connected with self and source. And that's all we need. That's all we need. So whatever you're going through, you may be going through a loss, or you may be going through ascension, or you may be going through something where you think you want your twin because your twin being around you will make you feel better. But actually your connection with self and source is what does that. It's an opportunity for you to choose peace and serenity in place of stress and tension. You're part of a glorious team of angels and other loving beings who come instantly to your assistance the moment you allow their intervention. So the moment you ask, it is given. The moment you call on the angels, they are automatically there because they're already listening. Let this be the day when you surrender all of your cares to God. Don't wait a moment longer to release every shed of fear or doubt to heaven's waiting arms. So give today any fears, worries, concerns to God in your way, however you want to do that, and trust that it's been exchanged for peace and there's a solution coming in. So the thought for today is I give all of my worries to God. I hold nothing back. Everything small or large is shed from my consciousness. Like an infant child, I allow myself to be completely cared for. I trust in the infinite wisdom and love of the Creator to shelter me and to fulfill all of my needs. Isn't that beautiful? Very powerful. And I'm going to read what it says in the book for the Law of Attraction as well, because, it's nice sometimes to have a little look-see at what's going on. So it says this card is signaling to you that you're experiencing shifts because of your spiritual path. The universal law of attraction says that like attracts like. So you're attracted to people and situations that have similar intentions to your own. For example, if your intentions are to be loving and to see the divine within everyone, you'll attract loving people and situations. You'll also repel people who have unloving focuses. This can be another reason why you've been guided here, or why you found this message today. This is why you may find your relationships and your taste changing. You may avoid old friends who no longer fascinate you, or perhaps you now dread going to a job or club that you previously enjoyed. Know that these experiences and feelings are a normal part of the spiritual path that you're attracting, because you're attracting wonderful new relationships, situations and jobs that mirror your spiritual focus. Give any cares, questions, concerns, guilt and so forth to the angels for healing and transmutation. So it's a big sign that things are changing. And you're seeing that because of what you're feeling attracted to and repelled by. And that's exactly what your masculine is going through right now. What are they being attracted to and repelled by? They are making changes in their life to be with you. I hope this helps. Have a great day. If you do get your God box or your creation box and you want to send me a picture, you can email me at I was going to give you my other one at guidedbyangelsxo@gmail.com. I say my other one, I've got like a personal one, but that's the one that I always check and have access to. Maybe you already have one, maybe you want to share it with me. Maybe you don't, maybe you want to keep it to yourself. It's your choice. but the option is there if you want to. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.